So, what's your personality like? Some people really get into this stuff. I don't so much, but from time to time, I think it might be interesting, and that's what we're going to do today. What will this test demonstrate about me? Well, I don't have a clue yet, but I guess we can all find out together, right? Let's take a personality test. Why? I don't know. I've been making some videos on random stuff lately, mostly because there have been some really challenging, really stupid theist videos of late, and I just had to get away. Therefore, I'll tell you a real quick story behind this in a second, and then we'll just get into the test. I can't guarantee it's going to be exciting, but it might be revealing. I don't know. So let's get to it. So, the pathway to this one is interesting, at least I think so. A while back, Rationality Rules did a video where he looked at a paid quiz on Jordan Peterson's site and compared it to other personality tests elsewhere. And that was interesting enough. I'll link to it in the description. But I decided I wanted to go ahead and just take one, maybe make a video on it because that's kind of what I do. This was one of the tests that was used in comparison, since there is no way in hell that I'm going to put any money in Jordan Peterson's pocket. This is the one that I'm going to take because it was the one that seemed the most interesting and similar to me. Why? Why not? It might be educational, and I invite you to take it too and share your results in the comments. Therefore, without further ado, let's get to it. First, it asks for some information, and I did provide that, but that, of course, isn't really relevant to the question, so we're not going to explore that part. The first question is as follows. Rarely feels blue. Well, I really don't. I mean, sure, I might look at the world and wonder what the hell's going on, but that doesn't really make me blue. It might make me sad that there are so many people who are so messed up out there, but I'm actually very happy and very satisfied with my life. So, strongly disagree. That's one down. What's next? Am not interested in other people's problems. Well, it depends. Am I interested in listening to people whine, as is so prevalent today? Not remotely. Grow up and learn to deal with it. Your first world problems are completely irrelevant to everybody, not just me. Now, for legitimate problems, sure, of course, I'd love to help. If you've got no food to eat, no place to stay, and those things aren't of your own doing, then absolutely, I take an interest and I will work to help you figure out how to get around it. That's not all problems, though. A lifelong smoker who is now whining that they have lung cancer, yeah, too damn bad. You fucked up. That's your problem. It's not like you didn't know better. So I'm going to vote neither, since this is all entirely context driven and we can just move on. Always carry out my plans. Well, obviously. How many years have I been putting out videos on YouTube exactly on time? Make plans, stick to them, modify to improve if necessary. If you don't know where you're going, how the hell do you think you're ever going to get there? That's Basic Success 101. So, strongly agree. Next. Make friends easily. Well, I guess that depends on what you mean. Close friends? Probably not. And if you talk to anybody old like me, you'll find out that they have very few really close friends. But the ones that they do have are really good friends, and that's me. Young people, at least in my experience, they tend to have lots and lots of people that they call friends, but they're often little more than just vague acquaintances. I've got tons of those too, I just call them what they are. Therefore, I'm going to agree with this, at least in theory, while recognizing the differences that they don't go into. Am quick to understand things. Well, generally, yes, or at least the things that I have any interest in pursuing. I mean, if you come up to me and try to explain the inner workings of a nuclear reactor, my eyes are probably going to glass over. I know the basics, but I have no interest in the actual details. It's not that I can't understand it, it's that I just don't care. Generally, I can figure out just about anything that I need to, so let's just go with strongly agree. Get angry easily. Nope, not really. Of course, there is a difference between being angry and being annoyed. I get annoyed easily. When you're surrounded by loads and loads of stupid people, it's pretty hard not to. I am not a fan of dumb people, and I never have been, but I'm not really mad at them, generally speaking. I just get annoyed by their stupidity. All I do is tell them that they're stupid, which of course they are, and then I will try to tell them how to get better, which unfortunately most of them ignore. So I'm going to disagree here, but it's really a matter of degrees. Respect authority. Well, that depends. Does it deserve my respect? Then, of course, I respect it. Otherwise, I don't. And I think it's really stupid to say, well, that's an authority, therefore I can't question it. I can question anything I damn well please, and I do. This is where the religious, for example, get into trouble. They think that the Bible or other ridiculous holy books, they deserve their respect. Well, nobody and nothing deserves respect. Respect is earned. You gotta deserve it. So I can't really answer as stated because there's just too many questions and too many variables that go unanswered, so neither. Leave my belongings around. No. I mean, not that I'm anal about it or anything. I don't mind a little mess when I'm in the middle of something, but things do get put away when I'm done. If you don't know where things are, how the hell do you go and get them again? My desk is always clean and moderately organized. Everything gets put away. So, strongly disagree. Take charge. Well, that's kind of what I do for a living, so yes, I do. I'm the one that people tend to turn to when things get bad. I might not say that I'm a natural born leader, it's something that I've had to learn over the years, but I do take charge in most situations. Strongly agree. Enjoy the beauty of nature. Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm not one of those people who just want to wander around in a forest all the time or who fixate on a flower or anything like that. I enjoy it, but I don't get fanatical about it. In fact, I don't really get fanatical about anything. The natural world is the natural world. It is what it is. It's not special or magical or anything like that. So I'm going to agree, but not strongly. Am filled with doubts about things. What things? I mean, generally, no. I realized a long time ago that things that are beyond my control are beyond my control, and therefore, why worry about it? I spend my mental times on things that deserve my attention, and that's about it. I make the best decisions that I can, given the information that I have available, and then I just don't waste my time worrying about it, so, no, not at all. Feel others' emotions. Well, not personally. I mean, there is a difference between sympathy and empathy. I'm sympathetic to the problems of others, assuming they deserve my sympathy. Meaning, I don't pretend that I'm in their place. I don't pretend that, well, it's really happening to me. I just understand the situation that they're in and I act accordingly. I think not understanding the difference between these two is a problem for a lot of people because a lot of people try to imagine themselves in somebody else's shoes without actually caring how the other person actually is. It's where you get a lot of idiots getting offended on somebody else's behalf, even if the other person isn't offended at all. So, can I feel other people's emotions? No. Can I identify with them? Potentially, sure. I have to go with neither here because I think the question is just really poorly defined. Waste my time? No. Now, some people might say that responding to theists on YouTube is a waste of time, but I see it as an educational opportunity. It's a way to help make things better, even though in practice it probably doesn't do a whole lot. I am very organized, as I already said, and therefore I just have too much to do to screw around. Am hard to get to know. Well, not really. I mean, there are people who I don't want to get to know me. If somebody falls into that camp, then yeah, they're probably going to get that impression. But generally speaking, worthwhile people get to know me just fine. And this is another place that has a lot of nuance and a lot of situational awareness that isn't being addressed. So I'm just going to disagree and move on. Have difficulty understanding abstract ideas. I mean, seriously, have you seen my channel? We talk about all kinds of abstract, arcane nonsense here, so I do just fine with the abstract. I just don't take it ludicrously seriously, as a lot of people seem to, as I think is clear when it comes to religion, so strongly disagree. Rarely get irritated. Well, irritated is different from angry. I don't get mad, I get annoyed. Of course, now you have to ask how often I get annoyed overall, and it's not really that common at all. I mean, there are dumb people everywhere, I think we all realize that, but I rarely do more than take notice of it and just move on with my day. There isn't a whole lot we can do about it, so why bother? It tends to take a really special breed of idiot to make me really say anything that sticks or that I even care about for more than a few seconds. So I'd say my overall irritation level is pretty low. I'll agree. Believe that I am better than others. See, here's another question that I really can't answer. Do I believe I am inherently better than everyone else? Well, no, of course not. That's stupid. Am I better than some people? Sure, just like some people are better than me. When you look at somebody like Ray Comfort, it's hard not to recognize that I am superior to him, at least intellectually. It's pretty hard to compete with that level of stupidity, and I don't want to try to do that anyway. So this isn't one that I can even try to answer because they just don't have any specifics. I'm going with neither. Like order. Didn't we already do this? See, that's one of the things I hate about tests like this. There are a lot of questions that are just repetitious. Therefore, from here on out, if there is a question that I've already answered, I'm just going to skip over it. I mean, I'm going to answer it, but I'm not going to put it on screen because I don't want to waste my time here or yours or whatever. So, whatever. Have a strong personality. I don't even know what that means. I'm going to treat this similarly to the leadership question before and just answer the same way. Stop asking the same things over and over and over. I get it that for some of these, they're trying to see if you word it different, they're going to give a different answer, but I'm not going to, so let's move on. Believe in the importance of art. Sure. Of course, this is all completely subjective. There are a lot of things that people call art that I think are complete crap, and probably vice versa. It's one of those, I don't know what art is, but I'll know it when I see it kind of things. I don't respect art for the sake of art, but I know what I like, so agree, kinda? Feel comfortable with myself. Yeah, actually, completely. I'm just too old not to. Now, that might have been different at different stages in my life, but today, nope, I'm happy. I've got a good life, surrounded by good people. I'm as healthy as I can be and expected to be at this stage, and I'm happy in general, so yeah, I strongly agree. I just realized that we're only at 20% though, so we gotta keep chugging on. Find it difficult to get down to work. Not remotely. I have a work ethic. And this is something I've talked to people a lot who don't seem to understand what a work ethic is, but you don't have to be motivated to get shit done. You just have to do it. And I don't get people who can't just sit down and do it. You know what you got to do. get to work. And that seems to be something that a lot of people these days seem to have problems with. It's how I get so many things done. I just do it. I know what I need to accomplish. I know what I'm capable of. I manage my time and I don't allow myself to fail. And that might be easier said than done for some people, but there you go. Strongly disagree. Fair warning, I am skipping over a question here and there in the interest of time and not repeating myself. Can handle a lot of information. Yes, again, that's part of my job. I have to juggle a lot of balls all at the same time and know what's going on in a lot of different places and with a lot of different people. It also helps me doing these videos because I can maintain a lot of information in my head. Now, granted, I am not as good at it today as I once was because, getting old sucks, but I still do okay, I think. So, strongly agree. And there went a bunch more questions, just in case anybody notices the status bar jump. Love to reflect on things. Absolutely. Now, I'm taking this as reevaluating your positions and thinking about new data as it comes in, and that happens all the time. Absolutely no position that I hold is ever set in stone. In fact, I think that's how people ought to be, which is why the religious often annoy me as much as they do, because they get stuck in one particular mode of thinking and they can't properly evaluate new information as it comes in, and they tend to end up looking like idiots. Flexibility is important, so yeah, strongly agree. Feel threatened easily. Yeah, not remotely. Now, in the distant past, when I was, I guess, a new atheist, or probably even when I was still a Christian, there would be cases where Christians online and offline, to be honest, would threaten to come over and beat me up, and hell, I just give them my address. Come on over. Of course, they never did, but that's the one thing that you realize about me is that I don't really care about your empty threats. I don't discount the credible ones, certainly, but mindless threats get absolutely nowhere. They get thrown around a lot these days, and I just laugh at them. Seriously, every time a theist threatens me with hell, I'm laughing and rolling on the floor. And there went a couple more skipped. Whoosh. Reveal little about myself. Not really. I mean, online, that's just common sense. I had a good friend many, many years ago, decades ago actually, who was very, very enthusiastic about keeping your personal data safe. And besides, online, it's really none of anybody's business. Personally, though, if anybody wants to know anything, basically, they just have to ask. So I'm going to disagree, but not strongly, because I guess it depends on the context in which the question is being asked. Now, I had to stop for this one. Keep my emotions under control. Hell yes, absolutely. And I think more people should. Now, that doesn't mean being an emotionless blob, but if you're going to live with your emotions on your sleeve, you're probably going to be a complete mess. There's a time and a place for everything, and running around crying about your fifis all the time is just stupid. That's why we have a lot of the problems that we have today, because people don't know how to keep themselves under control and recognize the situation that they're in. Lots of people are just dumb. Pausing at getting strongly immersed in music. No, I really don't anymore. I mean, I used to, but today it's a really, really rare thing. Some of that comes from listening to talk radio in the car for years on end. I even had a Christian talk channel that I used to tune into just for the laughs. Music just doesn't do a lot for me anymore, especially modern music. I mean, I still have a ton of CDs, but I can't remember the last time I pulled any of them out to listen to them. I don't even turn on the radio in the car much these days. I just rather be able to sit and think. Avoid philosophical discussions. Yeah. What do you think? I don't avoid anything except where the topic of a discussion just bores the hell out of me. I've got no time for that kind of stuff, but for the rest, yeah, you know me, I'm completely on board. Now, you ought to know by now that I am often disappointed by how a lot of philosophical discussions go, but that's just because philosophy is so simple to misuse and so many people are out there clearly misusing it. But give me a decent conversation on an interesting subject, and you've automatically got my attention. Therefore, strongly disagree. Here we've been getting a lot of repetition that I'm just saving you from, but I wanted to stop here. I really have no interest in poetry, and I never really have. I'm a rational person, and that's probably why things like music and nature and all that aren't overly interesting to me. I'm not as concerned about the human condition as I am about the rational state of reality and how people think. And that's largely what most poetry is concerned with, so no, I'm not really a big fan. Some of it I think is very well done from a technical standpoint, but give me a good book over a poem any day. And there went more skipping over stuff, which brings us to avoid difficult reading material. No, I read a lot of really dense, very technical, very complicated material, often just for fun. Now, there are times that I will go down a rabbit hole of research and find I've spent many, many hours studying stuff that isn't really that relevant. I was just fascinated by the idea, so I went to check it out. So, absolutely not on any of this. It's really how you learn stuff. And like I said, I'd much rather read a book than play a video game or sit in front of the TV, although I do spend plenty of time doing both, because learning is fun. If you stop learning, you start dying. So my answer here, of course, is hell no. Anyway, I'm going to stop here for the day. We've just crossed the 50% line, and really, I think we all need a break. So we're going to come back to finish the test next week sometime, hopefully, and see what my personality really is. I don't know if that's going to be interesting or not because I haven't taken this before, but I guess we're going to find out together. Anyway, if you want to take this for yourself, repetitious questions and all, the link is down in the description. Go right ahead and let everybody know what you got. It's just something fun to do. This isn't serious or anything. And I'll see you all next time, and we'll pick up where we left off.